With videos and photos changing all the time, and technology getting crazier, it's getting really hard to tell what's real anymore. That's where I come in. This is the Lazlow Zone.
About creating your reality that you must follow. Two no-nos anyway. You can have anything you want as long as you don't create anything that's going to harm anybody else. And you don't create anything that's going to take away from anybody else. You obey those two rules, you can learn how to use your mind to create absolutely anything. Earth is also the only planet where you forget when you come in. Other planets, they know why they're here. The ETs know why they're here. They know their role. They understand about God. And so they say, you people forget everything when you come here. You forget your contracts. You forget your plan. You forget what you came for. I asked them one time, wouldn't it be easier if we knew why we were here? We knew our plan we came in with. If we knew our contracts with other people, wouldn't it be easier? They said, no, it wouldn't be a test if you knew the answers. So Earth is very unique in many, many ways. So when you sign on for the Earth School, it's a long school. Some of the other ones you can get in and out of quicker. Here, it's much, much longer. Once you sign on, you can't just get out until you graduate. See what I mean? Why do you want to be stuck in second grade for countless lives when you can move on and finally graduate and go on somewhere else? When you sign on for the Earth School, you have to be everything. And I mean everything. They said one of the greatest things I could teach people was that everything is alive. Everything has consciousness. The table has consciousness. The floor has consciousness. The chair, everything has consciousness. They said in the fibers of the rugs are universes. From the microcosm to the macrocosm. There's more out there than you can ever even begin to fathom. You can never know it all while you're alive. The brain is not the brain, it's the mind. The mind has no concepts to truly understand what it's all totally about.
Welcome to Lazlow Zone. I'm FOXLAZLOW, and this is a bird. Don't you guys find it weird now that dogs are getting stuck together?
Guys, are you stuck together?
Well, don't you guys look stupid. What are you gonna do? Just wait for it to just die down or what? Hey, I got an idea. Who wants food?
Supper! Let's go get supper! Come on! Supper!
Supper? Go get supper, guys. Come on.
Supper! You want supper? Come on, go get supper. You want it?
Poor Indy. Just think about what you do before you do it, Indy.
Oh, it's so sad.
Oh. Okay, don't you ever end up like that.
So the other day, I was at Walmart, and I saw the Darth Vader mask. But it's all weird now. There is a big triangular mask vent at the bottom, and he's got like a unibrow. It just doesn't look right.
Okay, my overall opinion, Hasbro did a really awesome job on this thing. The detail is amazing, especially on the inside and on the collar part, even on the outside. This thing, honestly...
You know how one guy named Einstein said something about we have bees, and if we don't have bees, we're all gonna die? Well, I think we're gonna survive without the bees. You know, we have a lot of fake food. We've been doing pretty good by now. So there are bees out there that exist that eat meat, raw meat. Now these bees get a bunch of raw meat, mix it together, and they spit it out, and they make honey. Would you eat that honey?
Fly, little bee, fly. Lift the meat. Lift it.
I do it all the time. I pull the wasps out of the water, like go in there. Oh, sting help. I'm like, no. You're saving their ass. I'm not gonna sting you.
There's a cycle of life, and
Yeah.
they are needed.
Just
Like if bees die, we die.
Well,
Literally.
Remember how everybody was talking about the Looney Tunes, spelled with tunes instead of like musical tunes, whatever. Let's talk about Wile E. Coyote for a second, okay? Wile, let's say, is one name, not two names. If you look at the way it's spelled, it's Wile E. Coyote, okay? His eyes are red and yellow. In a lot of the old Wile E. Coyote films with Roadrunner, there's a gummy bear out there. That ain't no ordinary gummy bear. That thing is poisonous. So don't eat it. Okay, kids? Let's go back to 1937, when the Hindenburg disaster happened. Now, do you remember that? Learning that in school? Think about it. How many people do you think survived that thing? Hey Google, how many people survived the Hindenburg disaster?
On the website airships.net, they say, the disaster killed 35 persons on the airship and one member of the ground crew, but miraculously 62 of the 97 passengers and crew survived.
62 out of 97 survived. That's not right.
It's starting to rain again. The rain had slacked up a little bit. The back motors of the ship are just holding it just enough to keep it from... It bursts into flames. Get it started. It's fighting, and it's crashing terrible. Oh my, get out of the way, please. It's burning, bursting into flames, and it's falling on the mooring mast and all the folks between it. This is terrible. This is one of the worst catastrophes in the world. Oh, it's like 400 or 500 feet into the sky, and it's a terrific crash, ladies and gentlemen. It's smoke and it's flames now, and the flame is crashing to the ground, not quite to the mooring mast. All the humanity and all the passengers screaming around it. I told you, I can't even talk to people. His friends are out there. I can't talk, ladies and gentlemen. Honest, it's just laying down massive smoking wreckage. And everybody can't hardly breathe and talk and screaming. Lady, I'm sorry. Honestly, I can hardly breathe. I'm going to step inside where I cannot see it. Charlie, that's terrible. Listen, folks, I'm going to have to stop for a minute because I've lost my voice. This is the worst thing I've ever witnessed.
Think about a hippopotamus. What color are they? Now they're pink.
Of all the animals born without normal skin pigment, none is more wonderful. than the pink hippo. Hippos are normally dark brown. This female is an albino, a genetic oddity. However, it's only the lack of pigment that makes her different. Like all hippos, her skin secretes a special red oil that acts as a sunscreen and antibiotic. It makes a normal hippo's skin look dark, but it makes a white hippo look pink. Unfortunately, even with this natural liquid sunscreen, our pink hippo still suffers sunburn.
Do you know recently in Egypt they discovered a whole bunch of ram heads as sphinx? Now I'm starting to think there's some kind of trend going on here with Egypt. Have you ever seen a white rainbow before? Now you have. I used to own an N64 when I was a kid. A lot of people did. Now, this is a really strange one that I found because on the Spider-Man cartridge on Nintendo 64, Spider-Man's not even there. Why would they put money into putting Spider-Man on the label and on the instruction manual? They didn't even put him on the game cartridge. It doesn't even make sense.
Spider sense tingling. Something's going on here.
I think, wouldn't they eventually have caught on to that Spider-Man's not on the label, and then they would have fixed the problem? But I can't find one N64 cartridge with Spider-Man actually on the cartridge. I'm sure people have discussed this before, but human anatomy is fascinating because it's changing all the time. I've discussed the liver, the lungs, the heart, and now your ribs have holes in them. Yeah.
How many ribs do we have? We have 12 sets of ribs for a total of 24. The first 7 are called true ribs and are directly attached to the sternum. The next 3 are attached to the sternum with a common attachment. And the last 2 are called floating ribs because they are attached to the vertebrae.
And then your diaphragm, it's got like tongues on it. Okay, there's so many weird changes for the body. It just keeps getting weirder. Pretty soon, we will have, I don't know, horns? Yeah, that's right. I said horns. We have horns. Some people, not me, personally. But some people have horns because they're on their phone too much. Weird.
Okay, You think the world's getting crazier and scarier and more threatening? Here's evidence. Horns growing out of the heads of teenagers. It's hard to believe this is actually happening, but researchers in Australia say it is. They say they've discovered small bone spurs growing from the back of skulls on teens who are heavy mobile phone users, which would be basically everybody who's a teen. Dr. Mark Siegel is a Fox News medical contributor. He joins us frequently on this show to sort out mysteries like this one. We're happy to have him tonight. Doctor, thanks for coming on. Is this real?
Tucker, this is real. Not only are we seeing alienation and anxiety and depression from frequent use of smartphones and too much screen time, we're also seeing physical changes. We're seeing blurry vision, headaches. We're seeing something called text neck, where your muscles of your neck get weakened. And guess what happens when your muscles get weakened? Your body responds by making more bone, and it's making these external occipital protuberances called inium bumps that are spurs that are growing at the back of our heads, especially teens. And guess what else? They're going to be transmitted to the next generation by something called epigenetics. So if you got one, your kid's going to get one. And it really shows what we're doing to ourselves. We're transforming into a new being because of all the time we're spending watching things rather than interacting face-to-face with someone.
Now, if you haven't heard about it by now, the military has lots of cool stuff that we don't have. And this is what we're all fighting about. Technology. Not what they tell us on television, okay? It's called Project Looking Glass. It's very advanced technology. We don't have it. They do.
Yesterday and today is the very first public unveiling in a public presentation of Project Looking Glass. A human being is about this tall. This is built in underground bases. It is colossal in size. And what happens is when you fire this thing up, these rings start going in all different directions. It shields off the barrel of water inside, which is just like your pineal gland. The water inside flips over into time-space, which then captures argon gas, captures visual images, and this is what it looks like. It becomes huge, glowing, all the way out to these posts, which are used as stabilizers for the energy field. Now, it doesn't start out with an image of the Earth. That's just there as a placeholder, although you could see the whole Earth like that if you wanted to. That's not usually what happens. Well, contact, right? We have been given the technology right in front of our faces in the movies. They just don't tell you what it's for. So contact, just to recap from yesterday, blueprints come in from the Vegans, from Vega. They figure out that it's only when you fold up these patterns into a cube, which forms what there in the center, the triangle with the eye in the middle, as it folds up. Cube geometry, that's when you can decode the plans to build this, these rings, which becomes this machine. And there's your little helicopter. So there's another shot of it. They got computer animations of how it's going to work with the different rings moving. This actually looks like the fisheye lens distortion effect that happens around the looking glass when you power it on. There's a gantry crane up at the top, and the little guy is dropped down and goes inside. That's like your barrel inside the mechanism there. And this is where all the action happens. This is where the Stargate opens, the wormhole into the higher realms. In this frame, we're seeing how the whole thing collapsed and fell apart. So of course, you want to take a ride. You know, the new the new formation of the one after the old one breaks. And here we're seeing the new one. Once again, you get a very clear view, and there's your little eye with the rays coming off of it, just like the all-seeing eye on the dollar. So all of this stuff, all of this usage of the looking glass technology has created some very, very interesting things. They have used this, for example, to cheat on presidential elections.
See, in Canada, I find it very odd that you can buy coins that have Mandela effects on them. They're only $104. Buy it now. Order now. Rainbow, cloud, fire, clouds. Yeah. Order now, please. Not sponsored. Is it just me, or is it weird that Kirk Douglas is still alive and he's like 103 years old? Yeah, Michael Douglas's dad. He was in like old movies like Spartacus and stuff that I've never even seen before. But he's also in a movie with Johnny Cash. Anyway, he's still alive. Many people remember him dying, but you know, probably right after this movie's made, he's probably gonna die because I put the idea out there. So stop putting ideas of people dying out there. But he's 103, so 103, man, that's pushing it.
You mean tickets for folks to watch us kill each other? That's what I mean. Oh, come on, man. You gotta know I said that just show you what a fool thing it was.
Let's think about it a second. Both of us come right out and say we're gonna face off.
Now, what in the hell are you talking about?
Finish. We say we're gonna do it. All those men betting on us women, too, can't keep them looking at us, afraid they're gonna miss something. You think they wouldn't pay? Pay a lot to see us shoot it out?
No, they wouldn't. Not as long as they knew it was some kind of show. But you're not talking about some kind of show, are you?
No, I'm not.
Then what you're saying is that one of us ought to really kill the other. Is that what you're saying?
Winner take all.
There's something out there called black goo, okay? Apparently it's this black goo nanotechnology. It's been out there. Personally, I think that they are making islands with it. It's advanced alien technology.
Let's finish this.
And there's an island out there now above Russia called the October Revolutionary Island. And where did it come from?
If you look at the cave system and the rising mountain areas, it seems that the black goo is actually the thing that is filling the ley line systems of a planet. With this alien black goo oil schist in the Garden of Paradise. And I don't know how this happens, whether the soil around the tree was infected by the oil, or the tree itself was connected, so the moment you take the apple and eat from the tree, you introduce the substances you need to completely entangle yourself to the alien collective consciousness. And from there on, we kind of live in duality. We do have, as humans, we do have a certain possibility to consciously connect to the 7 chakra system, be a good human, or we can connect to the other chakra system that is tempting us with the power we gain by doing this, with the cruelty we can live, and the profit we can make by being cruel. So this is all about the physical substances that brought this type of duality onto the planet.
Did you know there's a lizard out there that can hide underwater and camouflage itself, and it breathes out a bubble that's attached to his face? Remember that Cat Stevens song? Cat in the Cradle, right? Cat Stevens never made that song. It was always Harry Chaplin. Or Chapin. Who wrote Cats in the Cradle? Hey Google, who wrote Cat in the Cradle?
Cats in the Cradle was composed by Harry Chapin and Sandy Chapin.
What happened to Cat Stevens? Never happened.
On the website rollingstone.com, they say, a case of tuberculosis in 1968 nearly killed him, but his career exploded in 1970 when Father and Son and Wild World hit radio. It was the era of the sensitive singer-songwriter, and Stevens fit right in on the airwaves next to James Taylor and Carly Simon.
Alrighty then. Did you know aliens are taking over? One day at a time, one bug at a time. They're giant. They live underwater.
Laying eggs on the male's back, just like humans.
Fascinating. It's an alien. It's an alien invasion. It's happening one egg at a time.
Yeah.
This is in your food.
Sesame seeds. You know, it's been a while that I've talked about monuments and stuff changing, but I looked at Mount Rushmore lately, and Roosevelt, he has glasses. How did they manage to put glasses on rock? Maybe it's just me, but I find that to be very strange. And also, George Washington has a coat built into the mountain. In Saudi Arabia, there is a rock that is just sitting there that clearly has been altered with laser technology, and it's still there. Is that proof that we've had super advanced technology that we've had for thousands of years? Probably. It's still there. Go check it out.
This is a huge rock located in Tema Oasis in Saudi Arabia, and is an amazing megalith named IAMLAZLOW. This rock is perfectly split in half and has curious symbols portrayed on its surface. But if that wasn't enough, the two rocks are split in half with some type of laser-like device which has sliced them with such precision that it has managed to keep them standing for centuries. Somehow they are also perfectly balanced. Could you imagine walking around a desert sightseeing and you come across a massive stone which is standing upright and is split in half by a perfect line? These stones of IAMLAZLOW are a giant mystery. Literally, these massive stones which have been split in half have created confusion among experts ever since their discovery. According to experts, the laser-like precision cut was not created artificially. According to many people, it is amongst the greatest mysteries on Earth found by man, and this incredible ancient stone structure attracts thousands of tourists each year who come to IAMLAZLOW to observe its perfection and balance.
The last thing I want to mention that is super weird, that I've mentioned a long time ago, is the Mandela circle. I don't know who built this thing, but isn't it fitting that it's remembering and forgetting? And it's super creepy.
This is called a Mandela circle or magic circle. This is the seat of forgetting and remembering. It's made out of black granite. What you have here is faces and hands sticking out of this monolithic type thing. I kind of find it very interesting when you consider, first of all, it's called a Mandela circle, and it has to do with forgetting and remembering. And now we have the Mandela effect on YouTube having to do with Cern or magic or something like that. What you have here is the layout of the sculpture is based on the Mandela or magic circle. This ancient symbol, okay, so now that's the key. It's an ancient symbol, and it has to do with magic. It has to do with the Mandela. So you can make your own conclusions. This is just something that caught my attention.
So I also wanted to mention that I have t-shirts on Teespring. If you want to get a Lazlow t-shirt, go get one. It would really help out this channel. Also, you can donate on my channel to PayPal, Patreon, GoFundMe, whatever. It really helps because then I can get better equipment to make better videos, and I can make more videos instead of doing other stuff. So, if you like my videos, please like, share, and subscribe. And also, you can support this bird, buy this bird some food. So if you want to learn more about the Mandela effect, you want to go deeper, I recommend getting my friend Tony White's book called One Consciousness. I'll give you a little bit of the book. We are all one. We are all one energy experiencing physical illusion reality. We are one consciousness that can access all of us at quantum scale anytime through energy frequency. Each collective beam of energy is its own physical experience reality simulation. Check out SR PhD on YouTube to get a copy of his book. Thanks, Tony. You have just watched The Lazlow Zone.
Aw, she came on my hand. Look at you. You're gorgeous. Do, 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 do. You're a cool bird. She sits on my hand, yeah. What you doing? Look at those eyeballs. Oh, big eyeballs.
They should trust you.
She's good. I'm good with birds.
I like birds, and they like me. She starts attacking you.
Okay, we'll put you back. Back on the cage. There you go. Go back.